Hello, this is the Blimey Cow YouTuber, and welcome back to another video. And today we'll be watching Messy Mondays, the one about mission trips, um, which should be good. Yeah, let's just get into this.
The most spiritual thing you could ever do in your entire life. It doesn't matter how you treat your family, your friends, or anybody. You go on a mission trip and everybody just automatically thinks you're the best person that's ever lived. In fact, if you need to prove that you're a super Christian, just go raise thousands of dollars and tell everybody that you go into a country with more syllables than the USA. And look, I'm not talking about missionaries here. You know, the ones actually living with the people they're serving. No! I'm talking about those kids that wake up in the morning and decide that it's God's will for their lives, that they go to some fun, exotic place and take hundreds of thousands of pictures and post them all over Facebook so they get comments like, OMG, wow, you are doing amazing things for God. You know, if that was the case, we shouldn't be feeling bad for kids that live in third world countries. We should be feeling bad for everybody that was born before there were airplanes. How could they go on mission trips? They had no way to become super Christians. They were screwed from birth! It's just like the people in the Old Testament. How the heck did they become Christians? What could the pre-airplane people have possibly done to be spiritual? I mean, what? Did they minister to the people in their own communities? Oh, God! That sounds like a nightmare. Better just to hop on a plane so you can get in and out and go on with your life. Doesn't that sound nice? But for real, I bet you can't name 5 people that live in your neighborhood and you want to leave the country? I guess I just don't understand.
I'm sorry, cutting this. I feel kind of retarded now. I feel like I should cut in and say something. He's just speaking so quickly; it's hard to get a word in edgewise. I don't really. I mean, for one thing, I've never been on a. Okay, I mean, I guess I have, but I didn't really consider those missions trips. I've never been on like all the missions trips I've quote unquote missions trips I've been on were within the United States, for one, and I I never posted bunches of pictures to um uh social media, I guess it's called. I don't know anybody who has. Well, no, I guess I do. I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, it doesn't make you super Christians, but nobody really said that it does. And I mean, obviously if there's obviously also people that actually do have a legitimate passion for this kind of outreach. And also, just because we do mission trips to other places doesn't mean we don't have ministries within our communities. And the advancement of the airplane did not open any. I mean, it made it easier, but like people did do actual missionary stuff before that. And then again, I guess this wouldn't. I don't know if those would be called missions trips. They're missionaries and missionary journeys. Whatever.
Are these kids that can't even treat their parents with respect, and then they decide, wow, I have tried everything and I am just not happy. Maybe I need to go on a mission trip where I can serve the Lord. Look, if you want to go on a mission trip for the experience, that's fine. Go for it. Have fun. But don't act like you're making some huge sacrifice to God by jumping on an airplane with some good friends and going to a foreign country for a couple of weeks.
Okay, that's true. Uh, you do just go on missions trips for fun and to hang out with people, and it's not like we didn't help the communities wherever we visited, but it I was going there to be with my friends. Just confession time there. Whatever.
that a missions trip? Everyone else calls that spring break. All I know is that while tons of real missionaries are out on the mission field every day, starved for funds just to keep their families alive, you have all these kids raising thousands of dollars just so that they can have some great spiritual experience. You want to be a real super Christian? Raise those thousands of dollars and then don't go on your missions trip. Send it to the people that can actually use it. Because they're living in these places that you just want to go and visit for a couple of weeks. That's a real sacrifice. You do that, and then we can talk about how spiritual you are. And I know you're saying, but God told me to go on this mission trip. I don't presume to know the will of God, as apparently you do. And maybe He is calling you to go on a trip. All I'm saying is that you better be freaking sure before you go around and say that the creator of the universe told you to go and do something. But you know what?
Okay, so about funding, let's see, yeah, I mean, actual missionaries do often struggle to, get the proper, funding they need, and like, I don't know, at my church, we'd always have, like, certain missionaries that the church would personally sponsor, and like every fourth Sunday or whatever, we'd have a mission Sunday, and take special donations for the missionary missions that we supported. And for the missions trips specifically, like, I don't get the problem with doing that and also funding youth missions trips, because I mean, it's not like we didn't do a lot of good on those mission trips. Yes, we individually were there to be with each other, but we also did, as a result of that, a lot of work, a lot of yeah. And then that would be separate, and we'd do like a big youth yard sale every year to fund those trips. But yeah.
What? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong about this entire thing. I mean, what harm could come from a bunch of rich kids going to another country to spread the love of Jesus? And this man goes to the grocery store and has to buy his own groceries. What's going on here? Oh, we're from the Millionaires Club, about 30 minutes down the road that way. We just wanted to share some Christian love to our middle-class brother in Christ. Oh my gosh! You're really taking a picture, please! Remember, Jesus loves you. Let's show our brother in Christ a little Christian love, a little middle class love, a little chocolate for you. Okay, let's head down the road and talk to the Thomases. How about that? Okay, you might want to actually eat that chocolate. You're looking a little malnourished. But here's the check for you. God bless.
Okay, he just made the exact point of why we should be going. Why should we be exporting our missions trips rather than serving the community, which is extraordinarily wealthy if it's in the United States compared to pretty much any community outside. So, exactly as stupid as that just looked, that's how stupid it looks when you try to do outreaches to, and I mean, there's like homeless shelters and stuff that actually wouldn't be like that, but most of the time, trying to reach out to your community around your church, if you're in America, it's gonna look like that. So that's the exact opposite point that he was trying to make. But whatever.
I don't think I ever want to see those people again.
And I mean, that's also just generally not what it looks like when you do a mission trip. You actually help people who actually need it, who come to your services or whatever willingly, and and who have a specific need that you help them with. Um, but yeah, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna get to some of these comments now. Okay, so, I, went to the comment section and, a lot of these comments are, pretty long, so I'm just gonna try to read this one, which is the top comment. It appears to be the top comment, and it's pretty long. I'm gonna try to, read this and, um, comment on it directly. Okay, so she says she grew up in the missionary field. Her dad started in missions when he was 18. She's the youngest of four and the only girl. She grew up in Belize, around Belize and Bolivia, and also lived in Puerto Rico, and finally moved to the US when she was 12. That's when she learned English and later became an art teacher, and now she's a leader in her church. Oddly enough, I'm missions leader. Everyone tries calling me a missionary, and I'm one of those sour Christians that asks them to please not call me that because I am not. Okay. So yeah, I mean, there's this distinction between uh missionaries and people who do missions trips. Although I'd say if you're like a missions leader, and if that's something you do like regularly, I mean, I guess yearly isn't regularly enough if it's just like a few weeks out of a year. But if that's what you do, then I'd say that would be that you could be called a missionary. Um, but whatever. She's 100% with you on this, and so is her dad, who saw this and laughed. Lol. She's sick and tired of churches using missions to ease whatever first world guilt they have. The Great Commission is not a calling for a few, it's a global calling for anyone who accepts Jesus as their Savior and Lord. Okay, so since she brought up the Great Commission, I brought it up here, and um, then the 11 disciples went to Galilee, to the mountain where Jesus had told them to go. And when they saw him, they worshipped him, but some doubted. Then Jesus came to them and said, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And lo, I am with you always to the very end of the age." So, first, objectively speaking, he is speaking to the 11 disciples. Now, obviously, this necessarily translate to some extent to everyone. But I have not seen any passage that straightly denies the separation between normal Christians and clergy. I think that they're like in the Old Testament it was extremely clear that there were the Levites and the priests that did all the clergy work, and then there were the other 12 tribes that were the lay. And again, this isn't to say that the lay don't have responsibilities in the church. There's just a distinction, and I have never found any biblical backing for denying that not everyone is clergy. But anyways, where is I? Um, where is body and responsible for using his parts? Well, some of us are feet, some of us are hands, others hearts, and some brains. But some, and here I consider myself to be, are joints. We help hands make and we help the feet walk. The church is supposed to train leaders to go outside the church, and it's really only some are called for global ministry, and those people need a joint church who can financially, emotionally, and spiritually aid their ministry. Okay, so yeah, that she seems to be agreeing with me on that here. And I would bring up the idea of the fivefold ministry, apostles, prophets, pastors, teachers, and I would say my understanding is that the apostles are um, more or less what we consider as missionaries, and then the missions trips would be lay people going to aid the apostles, and then ministries within your community would be the evangelists. Um, anyways, um, my dad met people who thought they had that calling, and when they went to the mission field, the first place they went to was a hotel. A hotel. So, this one girl I knew went to Mexico. Lol, it's always Mexico. Um, Probably because that's the only third-ish world country that we border. And stayed in a resort, a 4-star resort, if you please, and went to an orphanage for a couple of hours a day, and then preached at a church. She went to a church full of Christians and preached Jesus. When a missionary is really called to go to places where there are no churches and preach to the unsaved, and to this day she talks about that trip as if it was the biggest miracle ever. Is it wrong that I make fun of her? Absolutely, I don't like that I feel this way, but I also hate that this is the mentality of missions. It's not that at all. They miss literally the whole point. It's not about our comfort, it's about the people who need Jesus, the people who need more than just money, food, and water. They need God. Anyways, I'm ranting now, but I read negative comments, and they called you inexperienced or not discerning, and ha ha. I find those folks a little funny themselves. Missions is still alive and well, and there are many people dying for the gospel. Excuse me. Um, but they knew what they signed up for, and hotel spas and titles are not those things. Thank you for sharing this. Okay, so, yeah, I mean, obviously there's people who will never do this right. And but again, from my experience, the hotels, spas were not a part of it. It was um manual labor and um like outreaches and stuff. Um and yeah, I mean, it's not like we in the 1 week that we were there did manual labor for an entire community of people. Um, but um, but it's not like we didn't do anything at all. And I've talked a lot about my mission trips, but I have actually done. I mean, I haven't, but I was an MK. I grew up. Well, I wouldn't say I grew up, but I spent around about 2 years of my life in a third world country as an MK with my parents, and yeah, um it's different, but when you're just because they're different doesn't mean one is wrong, okay? For goodness sake. Um but yeah, I guess I'll go see if there's other comments that I can respond to um just quickly here. Okay, so William Cifuentes says, I really hope we all get the significance of that last part. That's us on the missions trip. It's not though. That's a um, at least it's at least an inadequate representation of what we do on missions trips. Keep doing what you do, Blimey Cow. Um, Chelsea Lewis says, why are these people so narrow-minded? He's not saying everyone who goes on missions trip is like this, but there are quite a few. Sure, if he's not sugarcoating coating it enough. So finally, someone who's actually got some based analysis of this. But again, I would say that again the motivation. I mean, you're dealing with a bunch of teens for Pete's sake. Yes, they're going to be there to hang out with each other. But that doesn't nullify what they actually do. Okay. And it's not even a matter of sugarcoating, it's just put it in um, terms that actually can be put it in accurate terms, I guess. And Nathan Dunn says, thank you so much for making this video. It feels like my entire youth group, whom I'm not very close with, is going on a mission trip, and I'm the only one not going. This helps me feel a little better. Well, mate, I'm not sure why. Again, like, yeah, it's unfortunate you couldn't go, but sorry, I guess. And again, I'm saying this as someone who has done a fair bit of mission trips and also actually been an MK. So I think I have some authority to look at this objectively. And again, this is just like I just picked these three comments because they're small and they all fit on the screen at the same time. And they just show that everybody in the comment section is mostly just agreeing with this and it could be that in their youth groups it wasn't like mine. I do strongly believe that I had a better youth group than most. But I mean, even then, like our motivations weren't perfect, but you can't just ignore the results, I guess, or the outcome. But anyways, I've gone on for way longer than this video has any right to be. So I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.